And I'm Michael.
And this is Sibling Screenings. Today we are talking about 1982's Blade Runner.
Yes, we are.
All right. Now this is a little synopsis from IMDb. A Blade Runner must pursue and try to terminate 4 replicants who stole a ship in space and have returned to Earth to find their creator. It's weird that they just say ship in space. They could say spaceship.
That synopsis sounds a lot more exciting than this movie because you don't see any of that. You don't see the space ship.
The ship in space.
You don't see space at all.
That is true. There's a very little space.
Yeah.
And I just, I've made a point of not researching this film at all, but I did have to look at the IMDb thing, and the tagline is so great.
Please tell us.
Man has made his match. ... Now it's his problem. So good.
That sounds like a marketing department. That's separate than Ridley Scott did not fight for that tagline.
Ridley Scott does not give a shit about taglines.
No.
I feel like that about him. So have you seen this film before?
Yes, I have. I saw it a million years ago, but I don't remember anything about it, and now I know why.
What did you think you knew about it going in?
What I thought I knew... So just the basic premise. Well, one, everyone says that this is a modern masterpiece. People love this movie. But I just knew the basic premise going in, that it is a detective noir. Well, what's going on?
I still don't really understand what a film noir is, but...
Me neither. But, yeah, detective movie, and also dealing with androids and their sort of, what is their humanity, dealing with that kind of theme.
Blah, blah, blah. This is a fun fact. Our dad... We have the same one.
Yeah.
He claims this is his favorite film.
He's a liar.
I don't believe him. He also says he likes jazz, but I've never heard him listen to it. So,
let's
just get those facts as you can.
Let's just
So yeah, I have seen this film, and I really want to like it. I want
Why?
to like this film because I like sci-fi, and this is supposed to be one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. And
all right, I think this is the problem. I think everybody wants to like this movie. Nobody actually... It's a terrible movie, objectively.
I think... Why don't we... So AFI, the American Film Institute, decided this is like one of the best sci-fi films of all time. Why don't we get the other side of the story?
Yeah.
No?
No, I'm just saying, so I can't judge this movie based on the context of 1982. I wasn't there yet. Technically, this movie is very impressive. If you saw it at that era, I'm sure you were so amazed. And I can only examine it from now. And other people are examining it from now and saying it's great, and those people are so wrong. Those people are dumb dummies.
Dumb dummies.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He's chasing down people. Oh, by the way, they really doubled down on this idea that Japan was going to just take over everything. Because this was a thing in the 80s.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so he's going around trying to kill people, but then he finds a girl that he wants to rape, and...
Mm-hmm.
Not rape, I don't know, maybe.
It's a bad scene.
Do you wanna break it down?
Sure. Yeah, so... well, let's just... My problem with this movie overall, and I have a lot of nitpicks, I have a lot of things that I don't like about it.
I guess you do have this part. But sorry.
We recorded this twice, so I have to remember what I said. There's a lot of things that I could say I don't like about it, but I think fundamentally of the movie, this is not a great movie because it has a terrible story, has terrible characters, and it does a very bad job of communicating its own themes. But specifically on Harrison Ford and the character of Rick Decker, there's just nothing to him. He has no character. He's very bland. When he walks into the office and the cop is like, we need the best Blade Runner. And Harrison Ford's like, nah, I can't. He's like, well, you're not a cop anymore, so you have to do it. Harrison Ford's just like, fine. He doesn't express emotion. He's just flat and boring. He does nothing in this movie except for the one scene where he seduces this android, but it is so gross. If you watch it now, if you've seen this movie, maybe you don't remember it totally. You might remember it as like a nice scene where he it's a little rough, but Harrison Ford, he puts on that charm, he seduces this woman. But that's not what happens. It's a gross scene, and as have done previously in the previous recording, I'm just gonna walk through it really quickly. Harrison Ford, super drunk. This other android has just killed a person and just realized that they're an android, so having a huge existential crisis. Harrison Ford is like why these two people have a romantic connection is not established really at all. But Harrison Ford is super drunk, so he tries to make out with her. She's not feeling it. She's just kind of like, back. So like, I'm not having that. Harrison Ford tries to make out with her again. This time, there's a reaction. She goes, okay, no, not into that. So she leaves. She's like walking at a brisk pace towards the door to get out. Harrison Ford runs after her, slams the door closed, and then pushes her up against the wall, makes out with her again. And she's like, no. And she's like crying. This is not fun to listen to. Harrison Ford is like, tell me you love me.
All right.
That is what happens.
All right, but then he's just like...
That isn't not what happens.
Then he's like asking for verbal consent. And then he's like, tell me you want
so,
consent.
wait a minute. So he kisses her. She's like, no. What did that mean? What does that mean? She said, well, what? Hold on. God, this is Harrison Ford's thought. I'm a detective. I should be able to figure this out, but women are so weird. Let me just punch the door closed and push her against the wall while she's sobbing. What? God, I gotta put the clues together. Where's my little notepad? I gotta write this down.
All right.
Wait, she's crying. What does that mean? God, I wish I could read emotions. I wish my whole fucking job was to realize what humans are about. I wish that was my whole career.
You're totally maxing it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be pleasant to listen to for many reasons.
Okay, but first of all, when he slams the door shut really hard, it's...
Because that does happen.
It's really hot.
No, it's not.
Okay, but you are correct. You are in the wrong, I am the wrong, you are in the right about this. But I have been blinded. Like, I have been lied to by my love for Harrison Ford as a
But you're still clinging to that.
I don't...
Why?
I don't feel good about it.
Just not. Just admit that it's a gross scene. He's gross.
It's gross.
He's gross in this movie.
It's
horrible to watch. But that's my problem is that's his only character.
There's one... I actually made a note. I am not rooting for anyone in this film.
There's one scene in the movie where he's doing detective work, so he like goes backstage into this woman's dressing room because he's a fucking gross guy.
Oh, no, that is gross.
And he like puts on a little character like, hey, I'm just a guy. He's doing a little voice so that he can kind of disguise himself. But that was a fun bit. But that's one of two instances where Harrison Ford is not just, I'm Harrison Ford. I gotta find out the mystery. But there's no mystery, by the way, of this movie. And so that's what are you supposed to take from this movie? Why do people like it? And I have my own theories.
So I guess my biggest problem with the movie is like, it's exploring all these deep
not really
things about what is humanity, and I don't feel like it does it very well. Like,
no,
I'm not
terribly
interested. I think Toy Story does a better job
of I'm sure
addressing mortality and what it means to be human.
Confession time. I'm not much of a sci-fi reader or watcher, but I'm sure this has been covered better 1,000 other places.
Oh, definitely. But I kind of like sci-fi, so I think I'm pretty much an expert. And I just...
Yeah, I like Star Wars, so... I don't know. Well, no, but like you were talking about Star Trek, like they do a much better job of this. Yes, absolutely.
And but I also think it looks so dated. Like that actually takes me out of the film a lot.
Can we talk about this for a second? So like this movie, would you agree that this is the appeal for many people is that this movie is exploring that theme of the humanity of Andrew? So let's count the number of times where that theme is really truly explored in this movie.
Oh, can I tell you? I wrote this down. That there was a line that made me just gag.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's too bad she won't live, but then again, who does? It's just all this. I mean, it's like a fake death to me.
Yeah.
But let me counter that maybe because the film was made when it was. Although to be honest, I thought it was made a lot earlier because of how bad it is. But like maybe because there have been so many better films like this that we don't have the perspective. Like this laid the groundwork for this kind of film to be done so much better. I
accept your counter argument, but I'm just saying I have a problem with this movie, and it's not that it's that it was bad or it's like people in 1982 shouldn't have loved it, but people now
should not love it.
People now
better.
people now do love it. People now do say this. If you look back, wow, this movie is so excellent.
Did I mention that yet? That I really liked the Turing test part, like, or what they call the Voight Kampf. I liked that opening scene. The questioning, like, what is.
I liked it, but it just doesn't make any sense.
I like it. Okay, but we also have to talk about. So I've seen both versions. So by the way, so there's been like 3 cuts of this film, but maybe
There's been 7 cuts of this film.
Holy shit. I didn't know that. So I've watched the original with the narration, and I just so Harrison Ford at the time, so it's 1982. He's been Han Solo and Indiana Jones, and he does not want to do this narration. He sounds bored as hell. So I'm gonna give you some of these lines. This is my favorite. Sorry. They don't advertise for killers in the newspaper. That was my profession. Ex-cop, ex-Blade Runner, ex-killer.
Just a note, so I've not heard I didn't watch the version with the narration, so this is the first time I'm hearing it.
But then, this is way better. Are you ready?
I'm
you ready to laugh?
I'm so ready.
But also just enjoy the brilliance here.
Yeah.
Sushi. That's what my ex-wife called me. Cold fish.
This movie sucks. This is a terrible movie.
This movie sucks. That's true. I'm not, like, I don't know, I'm just not rooting for anybody. And I just think it aged so poorly. Like, there's just too much going on. It's really grimy. Also, I love that in the future, like, you can have flying cars, but you can't have color monitors, but that's just all older movies, so that's fine. But this is the thing that I think that sci-fi movies that were made in the 60s and 70s look less dated than sci-fi movies in the 80s, with the exception of Back to the Future. But I mean, it's just like,
because they're not trying as hard to do like something crazy new.
Have you seen Back to the Future 2? It looks so
I have not seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
But I mean, like, no movie in the 60s tried to do something on this scale, which is probably why that's true.
I really like Alien. Like,
Yeah.
I like Ridley Scott. I feel like this movie's trying way too hard, and even though that one guy... So, that end, when he's about to die, and he says, like, I've seen star explosions or whatever, and Tears in the Rain and all that, I thought, what a phenomenal actor. What a cheesy ass. Like, I feel like people reference that as one of the greatest moments in cinema. And
That's really funny. So I was thinking about that. So, viewers, if you've stuck from us from the beginning, when we saw Ben-Hur, you may have taken the fact that one of the writers, when they were talking about the conflict between the main 2 male characters, Masala and Ben-Hur, how, are you really going to care about these just 2 guys who just hate each other? But there's an implied, like, they had, as they were friends at a very young age, and maybe romantic, they had some kind of romantic involvement, and that was like, that gave some weight to these 2 characters fighting each other. When our main hero and our main villain fight at the climax of this movie, that is the first time that they've met before, and that is the first, and they don't care about each other at all. Harrison Ford's job is to be a Blade Runner. His job is to kill the guy, and the guy wants to live because he's a guy, and that's it. That's the whole weight of the scene.
Yeah.
So it is really bad. Yeah. There's nothing to it.
Yeah. I think we pretty much touched on it.
Do I have my Michael's musical corner yet?
Yeah. Have you listened to? Did you listen to music independently?
The music is really, really good. I really like the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really like the analog synth soundtrack.
Wait. And now it's time for a little segment we like to call Michael's Musical Corner.
Michael's Musical Corner.
Yes.
It's really good. I really like that. I really like
What are you doing when you listen to the soundtrack?
Just soaking it all in. So
you can't even do anything else because it's so good.
So I don't like this movie. I think it's a shit movie. That's bad and shitty.
Like, fuck that movie.
Yeah, but to add to that, I think it is a shit movie. But I do like the aesthetics. I mean, it doesn't look real. It does. So that's why, I don't know. I'm critical when I read a...
Stick on the music.
I just got to go on this a little bit longer.
All right.
So I read a review that was like, this movie's a modern masterpiece. When I see the cityscape, I just am in awe of the beautiful. And that is crazy to me because it doesn't look real. Like, is that person in awe when they watch the prequel Star Wars movies and there's that big computer... I mean, a little bit, but I mean, I know, cool design. I'm not in awe of it, you know? I would be if I was in 1982 when I'm not, and neither is this person. So, but the music is good, and the music, it doesn't capture my soul. You know, it's really awesome music, and it's really cool visuals. The one thing that it's weird to me about science fiction movies is that I feel like the design of the city and the design of like the technology, I feel like that has been taken in other movies, but the actual like, I can't do it. The synthesizer sounds have not actually been taken as much, which is a shame. But so if you watch the trailer for the new Blade Runner, you would know what I'm talking about, because
I kind of really want to see that movie. Even though I think this movie's totally shit, I want to see the new Blade Runner.
You know what
I bet they're gonna do it so much better now.
Well, everything I like about this movie, is not the story. It's just like the framing of it. That the sequel, that's all that the sequel would take. Because like I love the words Blade Runner. If someone said, "Oh, are you the Blade Runner?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I'm the Blade Runner," because that's I would love to say that sentence out loud.
That's legit.
So Micah's musical corner. Music is great. A+. End of segment. Colleen.
Yeah, Mike.
What time is it?
I think that, bam!
Time for Sam.
All right. This is the part of the show where we have our researcher, Samantha, come and tell us some cool facts about the movie we just watched. Samantha?
Thank you guys for letting me be on the show. It is an honor.
We know.
It's a good show.
It's a great show. Here's the wine.
Oh, thank you. There's a lot of rumors about the fact that Harrison Ford did not like being on the show.
We could tell. His acting was very bland. There's nothing to it.
You mean the movie? The film, because it's very important.
It's really sophisticated. Was he an android? I don't know.
Probably not, though.
Probably not. It wouldn't make any sense. He was not strong.
So Harrison Ford did not like being on this film. In fact, he was so worried that they were going to put a hat on him, and this is right after Raiders of the Lost Ark, that he went out and got a contemporary haircut that Ridley Scott hated, but had to use in the rest of the film.
So this makes so much sense, because I watched the version with the narration, and he sounds so bored. He sounds like he's like, I'm Han Solo, I'm Indiana Jones, I do not have to be here for this
I thought
shit.
that was his acting during the movie. It sounded bored.
Okay.
His dialogue during the movie sounded
bored. I feel like you need to watch the narration was even worse. Like, let me also, because...
Well, hold on, because it actually was a fact. It was a urban legend in the fan world that Harrison Ford did such a poor job on those narrations so that they would keep them out of the film. And he actually came clean in a 2007 documentary about the film where he said, "No, I did try my best."
Oh, that makes me sad.
His exact wording was, and let me get this right, what I remember more than anything else when I see Blade Runner is not the 50 nights of shooting in the rain, but the voiceover. I was still obligated to work for those clowns that came in writing one bad voiceover after another.
What do you mean? Oh, like the writing was bad?
He called the writing written by clowns.
Wow.
Okay. To be fair to Harrison Ford, here are a couple lines I wrote down. They don't advertise for killers in the newspaper. That was my profession. Ex-cop, ex-Blade Runner, ex-killer. You know what? I was great at that. I should do this.
That was really good.
That's really good.
I felt that.
But here's my favorite one that actually I just love so much. So, by the way, he's like walking through the market and there's like sushi because it's, Japanese or whatever. Sushi. That's what my ex-wife called me. Cold fish. So good. So good.
It's a shitty movie. Go on, please. Research.
So, fair to Harrison. That was, the writing was pretty shit.
Pris, character in the film, when she first meets Sebastian, she's running away from him. She skids and breaks his car window with her elbow.
Ooh.
I do remember that, yeah.
Gross.
That was completely accidental. She slid on the wet ground. The glass was not breakaway glass. That was real car glass. And she shattered her elbow in 8 places. She still has the scar.
She's so strong that she accidentally were windows just real shit in the 80s? Like,
Yeah,
they
she
just,
completely. That was a real car with
I don't feel
real
like
glass.
I could accidentally elbow a window in. Like, can you do that?
No, I don't. Not me.
Not my style.
There's an eye doctor scene where they're coming out, and there's a door. And on the left side of the door, there's some Chinese graffiti. The graffiti is translated as saying, Chinese good, Americans bad.
All right.
That's funny.
That's good.
This film suffered very bad in the box office. It came out the same weekend as E.T.
Oh, shucks.
Whoa.
Some...
I don't feel bad for this movie, by the way.
No, I mean, it also deserved it, because fuck this movie.
Fuck this movie. It's a shitty movie!
It had some bad reactions from the original film critics, including someone calling it, from the Los Angeles Times, Blade Crawler,
Yeah.
and science fiction pornography from Columbia
I kinda
Record.
agree. I also think Blade Crawler is not a good pun. Like,
No.
I probably agree with the substance of that, but... Like,
Blade boring. That
see,
is-
now that's hilarious. That's good. Like, Blade Stunner, if you really liked it, that's a real pun.
Yeah.
Blade Gunner? I don't know.
No.
Just stop trying. Me.
Ridley Scott also
Blade Snoozer.
did
God.
not like Harrison Ford. When asked in 2006 who the biggest pain in the arse was to work with, he said, it's got to be Harrison. He'll forgive me now. I got on with him. Now
Sounds
he's
so
charming,
British. Like, I can't even deal with it.
but he knows a lot. That's the problem. We worked together. It was my first film up, and I was the new kid on the block. But we made a good movie. Ridley Scott casts Rutger Hauer in the role of Roy Beatty.
Real person.
He was real good.
Without meeting the actor. He had just seen some of his work and thought he was impressive, and so he hired him without ever meeting him. Hauer, to do a joke on Scott, showed up at their first meeting wearing huge green sunglasses, a pink satin pants, and a white sweater with an image of a fox on it. According to production executive Catherine Hauber, when Scott saw Hauer, he literally turned white.
That's a funny fact. Cool.
Decker stops Rachel from leaving the apartment. I believe you remember that scene.
I do remember that scene. Yeah.
I think you had discussed it.
Yeah.
Didn't
He
know he had a
pushes
character.
her away from him. The expression of pain and shock on her face was real. Harrison Ford actually shoved her a little too hard. He felt terrible about it. So he affectionately mooned her later to break the ice.
So he's just really good at sexual assault?
Yeah, I don't like Harrison Ford as a person, I think.
A fun fact, you're wrong. He's amazing.
Why?
You just no.
Why? Do you have one reason? Do you have actually, seriously, do you have one reason?
Han Solo.
Seriously,
I just gave one.
Sam!
He actually was in construction for many years. He was discovered because he was actually working, and he was asked
And only
to come
good
in
people
and read.
work construction.
He came in to
Why do you hate the
read
working man?
for George. What's his name?
Lucas.
Thank you, George Lucas. He came in to read just to stand in while he was working on George Lucas's door, and he was so charming as Han Solo that they casted him.
And only good guys are charming.
You haven't seen him in his working days. He was very hot.
I think he's sexy.
Only good guys are hot.
Ridley Scott's first cut of the film ran 4 hours.
I believe it.
Most of the
I hate
crew,
Ridley Scott.
including the writers and directors, admitted it looks beautiful, but it was very confusing and incomprehensible
And
and
terrible.
turned on.
And awful. And unwatchable.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Rutger Hauer came up with a lot of things about his character, including when he grabs and fondles a dove.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
And he also improvised the now iconic line, "All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain."
I blew a raspberry in case that didn't pick up because dumb.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Is those your facts?
My last fact is that they are making, you guys mentioned it, but you should talk
Ryan
about
Gosling
it more.
thing.
They are making a Ryan Gosling remake of the film, which takes 30...
It's not a remake. It is a sequel.
It's a sequel. It takes place 30 years after the film, called Blade Runner 2049, and it is going to be in theaters October 6th.
I really want to see that.
I'll check it out.
I'll check it out.
All right.
Ryan Gosling makes you happy, but Harrison Ford
Thank you for
doesn't.
your facts.
That was a BAM!
Time for Sam.
All right. Now let's hear from some other discerning consumers, where we go to the Amazon reviews.
Yes.
So many people love this film, but there were a couple of 1 and 2 star reviews. So we go through the low end reviews on Amazon to see what some people who disagree with the AFI. So Vile Drivel just was totally 1 review. A Feast for the Eyes, if you could keep them open. What?
That's good. I like that one.
I enjoy that a lot. This movie is so stupid, even Indiana Jones couldn't save it.
But he wasn't even good. Maybe Harrison Ford's not a good actor.
I could agree with you on that, because I think, like, I like Harrison Ford.
Why? Why does anybody like Harrison Ford?
Because I fucking love Indiana Jones and I love Han Solo. Like, that's it. That's my answer. But I think he's not a great actor because he doesn't have a lot of range. Like, he's just always that guy, right? Really weird movie that we couldn't even keep up with. Period. Too far out. Period. Surprised Harrison Ford played in it. Period. In the future type movie.
Future type.
Period. So great.
Love that.
And then here's this guy who it's a long review, but it just encapsulates my feelings. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Ridley Scott is an overrated hack. Terrible, awful set design, horrible script, dull acting. Had the feel of a student film. I didn't like it at all. Just my opinion. Sorry if that offends some people. I purchased this movie based on Alien and the cult following, which makes me think this person like heard about Alien and bought another Ridley Scott movie, which is a weird. Anyway, and then he said, "This is my opinion again," because he's just like, And then my favorite, deal with it, nerds.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah. Slam it. Nice closer.
Then my very favorite review. I remain concerned about Blade Runner Blu-ray. I thought I had more stuff coming. I read about a toy, a Blade Runner spinner car toy. I did not get it. 1 star.
That's really good.
That's
really good.
all right. So I think, Mikey, I wonder what our brother John is up to.
He's a great brother.
He's
Let's
so
give
great.
him a call.
Let's give him a call. Let's time for bro call.
Hello?
Hi, is our brother there?
John.
Yes, he is. He's playing a video game.
That fucking nerd. What is his deal? Tell him to get a life. Slap him on the head.
I shall.
That's so aggressive.
So is this for a podcast?
That's too.
Yes, it is.
Dirtier.
He's our favorite brother. Slap him on the head.
Oh, I can. That's a thing I can do. This
Please.
is a thing I can do.
Please.
Michelle, do you think Harrison Ford's a good actor?
Yeah, I really do. Hold on. This is from your brother and your sister. What?
Tell us about Blade Runner.
Yeah, what do you think about Blade Runner?
Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
It's not good at all. What are you talking about?
Mikey's really yelly right now.
I think Mickey might be a cyborg. Have you done the test?
Oh, shit.
Shit. Whoa, what if Decker was an android, John? Whoa, that's so mind-blowing. What a great movie. What did you like about it?
I know, right?
What do you like about it?
Well, you know, it's so edgy in such a good way. It makes you
Shut
really
up! What are you doing? Stop it! What do you really like about it?
Classic, man.
Do you like? Wait, hold on. I know. Let's be real. So, do you like Harrison Ford's really flat performance? Do you like how he has no character? Do you like that?
You mean his gritty and straight man performance?
Shut
A
up!
man of the street.
I hate you. What are you talking about?
Mikey.
I mean, if we want to be clear, there's one thing I really don't like about it is that he's so rapey in that movie.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Harrison
this is not
Ford,
the first time.
So rapey.
This has come up before.
But like that's the only character he exudes, really. That's his only personality trait.
Being rapey?
Yeah, that's all he does.
I mean, he also kills people.
Kind of.
He also kills people. He also solves it.
He's the mystery. Oh, we didn't even get into that. How the big mystery. Hey, Blade Runner, you have to solve the mystery of why all these androids are coming to the Tyrell Corporation. By the way, the Tyrell Corporation has made them die within 4 years. And then it turns out that's why they're coming back. There's no mystery to this movie, John. It sucks. If you like this movie, you suck.
The mystery isn't the mystery that it's being presented. The mystery is digging into what is it to be human.
Which is not explored in the movie at all. This movie does no job of doing that.
Human, then those others.
John, you're so wrong. I love you. You're my favorite brother. You're so wrong.
John, you're completely entitled to your
No,
opinion.
you're not! Disregard Colleen's sentence.
I mean, except that John agrees with most of the movie-going public. Like, most people love this film.
And they're all idiots. They're dumb, stupid idiots.
So I take it Mickey is excited for the new Blade Runner that is coming out
I'll see it. I do like the music.
I'm actually really excited for the new one.
I like the aesthetic. I like the tone. But I like a movie. Here's what's weird about me. I like a movie with characters and like a story and a detective story that actually has a mystery. There's no mystery to this movie.
You know what the mystery is? What is it that makes you human, Mickey?
And
what
that's
is it?
not
Maybe
explored
you're not
at all.
The question because you're not actually one.
That's not. I'm so angry with you. This bro call is over. Goodbye. Hang up. So that was bro call.
That was bro call.
Hi, everybody. This is Michael. The audio for this last episode is kind of a mess, and we somehow lost the ending. So this is it. Stay tuned for next week when we review Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee. Sorry about all the yelling, and thanks so much for listening.